What is going on, folks? CJ and Eris here, talking about
DJ, sir.
DJ Sue. Sorry, my bad, sir. No, we are here to talk about the 21 Bridges movie that is directed by, I believe, who was it? Brian Kirk, produced by Anthony and Joe Russo's, Chadwick Boseman and Logan Coles. Logan Coles and Chadwick Boseman in particular are two guys who have been basically together since 42. So they've been kind of collaborating on different projects with one another. And this is one of those projects. This was a very good movie.
Yeah, very good is an understatement. I quite enjoyed myself throughout the hour and a half. Which, by the way, this movie is a very, very smooth hour and a
I
half.
mean, it says 100 minutes, but you could have fooled me because that shit goes by quick.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those movies when you sit back and you think to yourself, man, like the story, you managed to tell a good story without having to drag out any of its pacing or anything like that. Like it's like you got to the point, but at the same time, you were able to tell a very good and coherent story.
Yeah, the basis of it is because this is gonna be a very quick review because to even dive into the movie proper, it spoils a lot of stuff. Because you see this type of movie, there are certain things that you'll predict, and there's other things you won't predict. Straight up, and I give the movie credit for that because you'll watch the movie and be like, oh yeah, I know where this is going. Oh, this okay, surprise. Okay, didn't see that coming. And they do it in such a great way. It's like, oh, okay, I'm engaged. You're engaged from beginning to end, straight up. Like it's not even
Yep.
a close idea. But the whole basis of it is Taylor Kitsch and Stephen James. They play these robbers who they're basically trying to steal cocaine. They thought they were only going to be stealing like a small amount of cocaine. Turns out was it 300 keys?
Yeah.
300 keys of
300
cocaine.
like 300 keys in such a random spot in the middle of Manhattan,
Yeah,
which kind of sums up two things. Either either it was dumb luck or straight up setup.
yeah. And in the process and stuff, the cops there's four cops that come up there, and shit goes the way you feel it goes. And I gotta say, the great thing about this movie is that the bad guys in the film, like Taylor Kitsch and Stephen James, they play villains in a very they're not just one dimensional, like, oh man, we're bad because we're evil. It's like, no, there's some nuance to them, and they're both effective as shit as the bad guys. Like straight up, it's not even a question of, well, are they stupid? No, they're not stupid. They clearly know
Yeah.
what they're doing, based on their character's background and stuff. And as expected with them killing cops, it brings along everybody. FBI because of the 300 keys being like the biggest drug bust ever. And they killed four cops on top of, what was it, five more cops, I believe.
Yeah, actually, I think the total comes to about eight.
Yeah, killed eight cops total, which brings up Chadwick Boseman's character Andre Davis, who his dad was a police officer, and we see his dad died in the line of duty, and he ends up becoming an officer, and he's dealing with some shit, which they don't really explain what it is because he's with IA at the beginning of the movie, but they don't necessarily go into like why he's with IA per se. At least
Hmm.
from what I gathering. But basically, he's there to kind of like solve the crime of what's going on with these dudes that shot all these cops, and there's a lot of more than meets the eye with it, and that's him and Sienna Miller, who plays a detective that's tagging along with them. They're basically out there to solve the whole crime and through the ups and downs and trials and tribulations and stuff. So I think that's where we can
All
probably
within,
stop it at.
I would say, all within the time frame of 4 hours.
Yeah, 4 hours from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. They got 4 hours to solve this crime, and in the process, he shuts down, which I think it was an interesting premise and stuff, is the idea of his detective character being very competent because he already figures out, okay, these guys stole cocaine, they got unloaded, they're gonna be ghost after a couple, like an hour, within an hour. So you know
Hmm.
what? Shut down Manhattan, shut down all the bridges, trains, or whatever. Nothing gets in or out. And
Smart move.
smart move, and that's the basis of the whole movie. Um, they do not waste characters in this movie.
They don't.
Like, whatever character you see, they play a part. They play a purpose. They're in and out, done. They do what they gotta do. But a lot of the focus is on Andre and Steven and Taylor Kitsch. Chadwick, Steven, and Taylor Kitsch and Sienna Miller. Those four, and what they're going through and stuff. Obviously you got Keith David, who is like, he's there for a hot minute, to be honest. just so we can hear his voice.
Like a real hot minute. Like as soon as I heard his voice, I was like, okay.
Yeah. J.K. Simmons. He's in it.
I was just going to mention J.K. Simmons he was also really good in this.
Yeah, he plays the police captain to the officers that got killed. And he does his job. He does what he has to do. He isn't going over the top, which is a change of pace for his character, for what he does and stuff. If you've seen him in Whiplash and things like that, where even Spider-Man movies where he's just over the top. It's like, no, he plays it very straightforward and stuff. But the movie overall, the movie, what I think was great is that they treat Andre like he isn't perfect by any stretch, right? And he's kind of figuring out and piecing it together. Like, he doesn't figure it out that quick, which a lot of movies would have it to where, he's just so super good that he's just perfect in every way. Which I think maybe that's why they show him in front of IA. Like, clearly there's some issues with him in terms of his job that people have a problem with.
Yeah.
So, in terms of how it was shot, very good.
Oh yeah, hands down, top notch DP. Like from all the chase scenes to like the close quarters of the gunfights that take place, everything was shot very well.
Yeah, the gunfights in particular, I think. You know what I appreciate about this movie is that the gunfights didn't feel shaky camish.
They weren't shaky cam. If anything, you could say this was kind of like a pseudo John Wick without it going crazy over the top of John Wick 3.
Stylistic, like the shooting is stylistic and stuff.
Yeah, it was very, very stylistic.
Yeah, and I think that's credit to, like I said, with the way the director, put it in the story. Because I think Paul Cameron is the cinematographer, and hold on, what has he done? Oh, he did our favorite movie, Swordfish.
There you go.
And he also did that Michael Mann movie, Collateral, which I think is great.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did Pirates of the Caribbean, The Commuter, which was actually not bad. Deja Vu, Man on Fire. Man, okay, shit.
Basically, the man has a catalog of amazing movies.
I mean, he had me at Swordfish, but he has me at Collateral too. So that should already tell you the level of cinematography you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like I said, even the action scenes when they're like throwing fists for a hot minute, it's like, okay, it's not shaky cam. They're just playing it up. The chase sequence and stuff that you see in this film is great. I even go so far as to say the music choices that they do, what music that's in the movie, it works. Nothing too crazy. I don't know. It's crazy to me because, like I said, I think a lot of people were like, they was like, oh, the Russos, they're doing a movie with Chadwick Boseman. I hope it's good. And then you saw the trailer and you're like, I'm actually in now. And they had a panel at San Diego. I don't think we didn't go. I think Najir went. And then, because apparently this movie was supposed to come out in September, but then it got pushed to November. And look, I think it's worth it. Me and Sue were at Howard University, and the audience, look, clearly Chadwick has a huge fan base, so I'm pretty sure this movie's going to do great. I mean,
this movie's going to make plenty of money.
I mean, it's and the audience, and I think the audience is what also enhanced the enjoyment of the movie itself, whether it's like certain things that happen to Chadwick or certain things that the bad guys do. It's like, oh my god, this is great. And I think that's what it does. The movie doesn't waste film. There's something happening. Like I
said, it goes straight to the point.
Yeah. I mean, Like there was a part where I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom, but I didn't want to go because I felt I was gonna miss out on something. So I was like, nope,
Yeah,
let's go sit here for this 100 minutes, even though again it doesn't feel like 100 minutes. And
it doesn't. It goes by really quick.
yeah, so yeah, I mean it's like I said, for us to go deep into it, it's gonna definitely be spoilers and stuff. But
Yeah, we're
yeah,
not. Yeah, without spoiling anything, I can just tell you straight up. Like, I'm just cutting the cord right now. Go see this movie when it gets released, please.
oh yeah, definitely. So support.
Highly, highly recommend it.
Definitely. Especially for somebody like this. This is like I want to say like it's his second major motion picture movie,
Hmm.
which is actually not bad in terms of like actual big Hollywood movie and stuff. So gotta give him credit, man. He did a pretty good job. But I think also having Chadwick and Logan there to kind of touch up the script, because that was something that they talked about during the course of the about the whole movie process, is that Stephen James, he's one of the bad guys. Originally he's supposed to be a white guy, and if you don't know who Stephen James is, he was the lead character in If Beale Street Can Talk. Really good movie. He was fucking phenomenal in that movie. Act his ass off too. And he also played Jesse Owens in 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 that Jesse Owens movie, which there's a part where his ass is like booking it down the street, and I'm like, there it is, Jesse Owens right there.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil
It's
it.
not spoiling it. It's just I'm just saying there's a moment where he's booking it, and I'm like, yep, got your Jesse Owens on, didn't you? And like his character's supposed to be white, and they put him being a black character. It adds a layer of nuance to him than him just being, oh, he's just a white dude that stole. Okay, whatever, I don't care. But like him being there, it adds a layer to his character, because his character is really kind of like interesting. I mean, you've seen it before to an extent. So,
I won't even say that it added a layer. It was more so you created a completely different character.
oh yeah,
Same, you can give him the same lines and everything, but by making him black, he becomes a whole new character.
so yeah, it kind of reminds me of movies that we saw like this in the 90s. That'd be like Patrick Swayze and all the, and I don't even think you could do this movie with like Sylvester Stallone or anything. It would just feel weird a little bit. Like,
Well, no, you could have done this movie with Sly probably 15 years ago.
yeah, I don't know, because I feel there would have been some extra scene where Sly feels he has to like get like major fight scenes for no reason and stuff.
Or better, no, actually, no, he did do this movie. It was called Copland.
True, but Copland was longer than this movie.
Copland, yeah, it was longer, but just actually no, take that back. Imagine Copland taking place in the span of a few hours instead of several days.
Yeah. So, but like I said, they're both dramatic movies, and like I said, shout outs to STX Films and stuff, because STX Films, they've been on pretty much on a roll in terms of some of the movies that they put out and stuff. So
Yep.
gotta give them credit and stuff. Cause I think because they started back in 2015, and they've been pretty good. Like I said, 21 Bridges, and they did what was it, Hustlers, that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that came out a couple of weeks ago and did pretty good. The Upside, Peppermint, which I wasn't really a fan of Peppermint, but they did Mal 22, so that was okay. And Den of Thieves, so there you go.
Yeah, these production houses, they're picking up that bread.
Yeah, and The Foreigner, so they're definitely getting their bread, like you said, across the board. And this is probably one of those movies that they're going to do really good. So, yeah, I think that's it for our little mini review. Definitely go see 21 Bridges this week. And got any final thoughts, Sue?
Again, go see the movie.
All right, peace.
Deuces.
Fly melodies.